You're unbelievable. Oh, welcome back to One Man's Tracks, the place where I throw back to random thrift shop CDs I've picked up secondhand and review them here. This week's group is made up of singer James Atkin, bassist Zach Foley, drummer Mark DeCloud. You've got the songwriter and guitarist Ian Dench, as well as sampleman and keyboardist Derry Brownson. This group formed in Cinderford, England in October of 1989 as the Epsom Mad Funkers. They booked their first show in December of that year, and they scrambled for the first few months to throw together enough tracks to play at that gig, eventually compiling in just a couple of months enough tracks that would eventually become their very first album. I've heard the band say that they were just in the right place at the right time with the music they were making at the time, just happened to be what they really enjoyed. And so when EMI reps started showing up at some of their early gigs, they realized they had something special here. Obviously a pretty attractive new sound, with the first song they eventually would record going to #1 in the US. This magnificent blend of psychedelic rock with disco and hip-hop just feels effortless. Unbelievable, sits atop the likes of OMC's How Bizarre as just perfect, laid-back dance rock numbers that transcend the artists that created them. And just like with OMC, I'm thrilled to dive a little deeper and see what's more in store on this. They eventually downsized their name just to EMF. This is their 1991 debut, produced by Ralph Gisard and released through Capitol Records. This is Schubert Dip. Riding in off the tail of the Madchester movement of raves fueled by ecstasy and electronic alternative dance displays, the boys were already experienced musicians by the time they formed EMF, so there's not really any obvious weak links, but this album does still feel a bit like the band experimenting and trying to suss out their sound. That said, the way this is structured leads to a fairly cohesive album listening experience that builds up to the unbelievable hit and dances away on a couple of great groovy tracks. Starting at the top though, let's get into the uplifting anthemic Children. It opens the album with a slow wash of ambience that's eventually cut into by Claudia Fontaine's reverberating singing of the chorus. Children, I know you deserve more than this world could ever give. And then diving into Atkin singing a bunch of great motivational verses that talk about finding the right life for you. Just a wonderful opener with great energy, good production, announces these guys and gets us going. I'm really impressed by the first few transitions in this album. The flow is not interrupted at all, coming from that super light, bright place down to a deep, heavy, head-bopping number on long summer days. It's all about driving away from someone with purpose, but it still just breaks you apart inside. Atkins's vocals are forlorn, and they really complement well with the Eastern guitar riffs Ian brings, as well as the sort of frantic synth lines that are added in make for this album's most manic dance number. When Your Mind bumps in on a conga line that's reminiscent of a Lips Inc. intro that's joined by a Latin beachy instrumental. There's quite a bit going on here. It's a groovy love song with playful keys, but the energy and the delivery make it fit right in with the rest of the tracks. Now the down-tempo Traveling Not Running brings us back to the themes of escapism. The opening lines, I'm traveling not running, I don't like it here, all backed by this obscure Hungarian voice they sampled off the radio that actually turned out to be a political statement that really motivated Hungarians, and they really enjoyed this song quite a bit. It was just supposed to be this cool aesthetic backing to this sort of regretful pop rock recollection of a love that could have been. There's actually quite a few love songs once you read into the lyrics on this album, and it might have helped contribute to its pop appeal besides the obvious hit. I Believe pulls us out of that sinkhole and up onto the dance floor with catchy simplicity and little guitar solos. It's self-affirmed, a little techno flair. It's the perfect build-up to that lead single. You better believe it, and you deserve it too. It's unbelievable time. The "oh" is a Andrew Dice Clay sample. I think it was Ian's idea to put it in there. He also includes a bunch of random little sneaky ones that are sampled throughout the chorus. I probably dare you had a part to do with that, but there's the word "one" that's from a High Tech 3 song that's actually a Kid K from Technotronic singing, and there's some Black Panther lines that have actually made it into a couple advertisements. The what the fuck is going on? They really sneaky, they're subtle, you have to listen carefully to hear them, but they're there, and this cathartic banger is the track that charted everywhere, that's been present in the media for the last 30 years and just launched EMF's brand of music worldwide. I've already alluded to the fact that this song is the foundation of this CD. Its vibe perpetuates most of the album with its loose, groovy mix of guitars, synths, and wacky sampling throughout this whole record, including the next song, Girl of an Age, with its laid-back feel, catchy chorus, uplifting motivational verses. It's one of this album's most empowering pieces. Another lovesick song, Admit It, is my least favorite in the album. The little techno synth lines are fun, but it's just too poppy and too repetitive for me. The next track, Lies, got the band sued by Yoko Ono for including a sample of John Lennon's killer Mark Chapman reading some Beatles lines at the intro. The song's great though, it's really catchy, some fun techno synth lines, psychedelic guitar riffs, but after hearing a couple acoustic versions of the track, I'm not actually sure which version I prefer. Finishing off this sample session with some classic poetry from T.S. Eliot's The Hollow Men. You know it. This is the way the world ends, this is the way the world ends, this is the way the world ends, not with a bang. Ending this CD with the first song they ever wrote. Long Time is bluesier and more poetic. It's a pretty lovely way to end this thing off, but if you've got the right version of this album, there's a bonus track for you if you wait. The self-titled song, EMF, lets you know what EMF truly stands for. Ecstasy, motherfuckers! It's a fun track that was actually included on the B-side of the unbelievable single. These mad lads had me moving and grooving and had me look deeper into what came after Schubert Dip, because I just had such a fun time listening. They released a rowdy little EP called Unexplained that contains a really great cover of Search and Destroy by Iggy and the Stooges. Then in 1992 they released their second studio project, Stigma. That album, while unfortunately didn't contain any big hits, the way they rushed to slam it all together makes it feel like a really streamlined process, and it contains that EMF flavor you've known and grown to love through this and the deeper cuts on it. That is truly a gift to EMF fans everywhere. If you like this, definitely check out Stigma, and for any KLFers still out there, definitely at least check out the opening track for some little familiar little ahas. Breaking up for the first time, they'd get back together in '95 to release their third and, at this point, final album, Cha Cha Cha. It unfortunately feels too disjointed. I know there's some great tracks in here, and they feel less memorable than a lot of these songs, but they're just, I think, too much they're trying to do on this third album, and that, I think, led to another hiatus period. They did get back together in 2001 and release a greatest hits compilation, but unfortunately the following year their bassist Zach Foley died of a drug overdose, leading to another hiatus period for the band. Ian's been nominated for a couple of Grammys for helping write a few pop songs throughout the years, and James has released 5 albums solo. His most recent just came out. He's actually been doing, I think, live streams of it every Friday. Maybe just post a video every Friday of him doing a live version of his song. Either way, check out Songs of Resistance. If you like this, just maybe Googling the Madchester music movement will find you some more bands you enjoy. Check out the Soup Dragons I reviewed pretty recently. What a great band. Before you go, make sure you've liked the video and you're subscribed for next week's awesome throwback album review I want to share with you. If you're this far in the video, you already know I think you're unbelievable. Oh! Dun, 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 dun. Oh! Woo, ooh, ooh, ooh. Happy anniversary, One Man's Tracks. Yeah!